What's sad is we're effectively in a fucking war with ourselves, fueled by other countries, and we have no idea who's fighting us. It's like you said, we're they're balling a frog.
Yep.
That's what we are. You ready?
Yeah.
Now let's do it.
Two Marines, one damn mic, talking sense and straight senseless all night. Hey! This is Sense and Senseless.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Sense and Senseless podcast. I am Brian.
I'm Jason.
It's Jason.
Hey, sorry before you get going. I know I told you every time I hear that song now, I think of strip club or something.
Mm-hmm.
And you said nobody wants to see me on a pole. Can we not do AI cartoon characters doing that on our intro video?
You can. If you want to make one up, go ahead. I'll gladly put it there.
All right. I'll have my cartoon character doing a strip.
There you go. That'd be cool.
All right. Sorry.
I got no problem
All
with
right.
that. All right, if you're
Start
new
us out
here,
there.
welcome to the family. We're just two dudes trying to make sense of shit in a way we can all understand. All right, so this week we actually have 3 episodes that are linked together. I hope you have watched or listened to episodes 57 and 58. If not, now you can go back and listen to them. This is going to be a continuation of those. And this episode, we will briefly discuss the war in Iran, and then we'll get into the week in Trump. We're going to discuss how we are controlled by other countries and the fall of every empire. Stick with us. We're going somewhere. We always are. Like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate every one of you. Jason, you got anything before we start?
Nope. Love everybody.
Love y'all. All right, first off, let's start with where do we stand in our war with Iran? Well, the ceasefire is no longer. We know that.
What did we say? It's not a ceasefire. It's fire less.
Yeah, so it's a less fire.
Less
Less
fire.
fire. And right now, we're conducting nightly strikes. I think before I came in here, I seen that we're on our 8th night of strikes. So, and Iran's been striking our bases in Kuwait, Bahrain, Jordan, and other Gulf areas. Although they are reporting that many of these missiles and drones are being intercepted. And for some reason, we just can't come to an agreement. It seems like the longer this shit drags out, the more demands that Iran want, or less demand that the U.S. is willing to concede. The fucked up part is, if we would have just accepted what Iran was offering prior to the war, we would have never gotten to this point. Why? Because before the war, Iran signaled major concessions, including diluting or blending down a stockpile of highly enriched uranium and capping enrichment at low civilian levels or implementing a temporary freeze. Also granting full IAEA inspections and verifications. But the U.S. wanted zero uranium.
Freeze, recruit, freeze.
Zero. Yeah.
Zilch.
So now, we went from zero enrichment to where we'll accept energy grade nuclear stockpiles. All right. We went to war over zero enrichment. But now we'll accept, we'll let you have a little bit of your uranium. We went to war over that. That's fucking progress. That is fucking, that's the art of the deal. I don't care how you look at it. That's the art of the deal right there. All right. So from what I heard this week, Bibi was in some of the pre-war discussions in the White House prior to February 27th. And this was during the negotiations. And from what I understand, that it was already a foregone conclusion that we were going to war before the negotiations were even over with on February 27th or 28th. So we were going to strike Iran regardless, basically. And this was, from what I heard, this was decided like 2 weeks before we struck or a week before. So the going back and forth and, we want I guess one way to look at it is once we decided we was gonna strike them, we can say, "Hey, look, there's gonna be 0 enrichment. You're gonna have no nuclear capabilities." They knew Iran was not gonna go for that. Okay, now we have a reason to go to war. That's one way to look at it. Yeah. And this was they said this was gonna be a quick strike, kill them all, get out mission. Then there would be regime change, and we all move along to fucking up the rest of the Middle East as we have for years.
Mhm.
The only problem is Iran didn't like the script that was written and decided they were not going down without swinging.
Mhm.
And so the slow fire still goes on. Oh man, I don't know what to think about that fucking war
Me
or
neither.
whatever they want to call it today. Can't call it a war for some reason.
Can't
Yeah, so
constitute that one. The Iraqi war, Afghanistan war, we try to constitute that one because of what happened over here on September 11th, but did nothing happen over here.
no. Oh, and a couple more. I think a couple more soldiers died this last couple days. At least I seen that on the news today. There was like 1 or 2 died
From
or missing. U.S. soldiers, yeah. Are they missing or something? I think it might have been a pilot or something. So go ahead and look into that.
uh, was there soldiers killed in Jordan?
Yeah, I think it was Jordan
All
because they've
right,
been bombing the bases.
Yeah, 2 U.S. service members were killed and one remains missing following an Iranian ballistic missile and drone attack on an airbase in Jordan.
So I'm assuming they didn't intercept that missile. I wonder if there's
It's
a
a,
lot more damage over there to those bases than they really letting on.
it's calling them service members. It's not even saying if it was Army or Air Force or that's scary that our air defense systems can't
I,
protect.
I don't know if they can't protect or if we're just being scarce on using them,
Right.
because a lot of the missiles in the Middle East will move from some of those Gulf countries to Israel to protect Israel. That was
Mhm.
stated at the beginning of the war, which pissed a lot of those Gulf countries off. It showed who we were really, allies with when you start
Mhm.
thinking, well, yeah, we gave them to you, but Israel really needs them a lot more than you
Yeah.
do.
Talking about true fact of an Indian giver.
Oh man.
I know we said we were going to protect you, but Israel needs it more than you.
Yeah, we were gonna protect you, but we wasn't gonna protect you. See, we protect Israel. We just protect you. You second
Yeah.
in line, third,
Yeah.
maybe fourth.
You don't have the platinum membership.
That's
You're
right.
just a standard member. You're the one that gets the free. They're the premium members. So
Well, look at it this way: the Gulf states they didn't go ballistic. They wasn't that mad about it. So there's a good possibility that maybe Israel has a little control over the Gulf states too.
yep.
So hey, look, hey, look, we need to protect the mothership.
Yeah.
All right. So we've talked multiple times how the U.S. wanted to pass a bill that would merge military technologies with Israel. This week that went up for a vote. We're gonna start with BB on Fox last
Oh
Sunday.
baby.
Yeah, listen to old BB.
The proposal to have a merging of some sort between our Pentagon and your military?
Yeah, I'm calling it from aid to partnerships. We co-invest in equal measures in the new technologies that are needed to give our military and your military the advantage. Working in American intelligence, what Israel was giving the United States was worth, he said, 5 CIAs. I'm not trying to be mathematically exact, but Israel's contributions to America's defense are important. Our technology is incredible. And since yours is incredible too, and you're the great beacon of liberty and free markets, I think the meshing of our two great countries of talent, would strengthen America's position, competitive position, both in the economic marketplace and in the military battlefield in many important ways. So that's the idea.
Dude, you know what I heard from that motherfucker? And I didn't even catch just the first time.
What?
You know, our intelligence is 5 times better than anything you fucking have over there. So you'd be better off merging with us.
Yeah.
It's like, you
That's
arrogant
what he was saying.
fucker.
Yeah. If he's so damn if they got all this technology and shit, do your own thing.
They do your own
Why
thing.
do
What
you
the fuck?
need us?
Thank you. Well, that was him selling his shit to Fox News.
You know what? They always had us believe. You tell me I'm wrong about this. When we were in the military and then on after that, we were always told that Israel was like a pit bull on a leash, and we were holding the leash or the chain.
I'll be honest
If
with you.
we-
I
if we-
never really heard anything about Israel.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Dude, we were always told if we let loose of the chain over there, they'd kill everybody over
Who?
there. If we turned Israel would.
No, who told you that though? I've never heard that until you started telling
I've
me that
heard
not too long
that
ago.
from all. I heard it in the military, like even when I was in the guard. Like every time Saddam or whoever would do something, is like, man, if we just let Israel loose or Iran, remember they flew them planes over there and blew that nuclear power plant up.
Who did?
Israel did.
What power
This was
plant?
a while back. This was like in the earlier 2000s.
Oh, okay.
They flew their own mission over there when we told them not to do it. They said, screw you. They did it anyways and went over there and blew up a nuclear power plant
Where?
that was being constructed in Iran
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
because they're getting a bomb. They're getting a bomb. And they acted like if we don't do something and you don't do something, they're going to hit us, not you. And they went over there and handled business themselves. And we always thought that they were like that rabid dog on a chain. And we're the only ones holding the chain. And if we let them loose, they kill everybody over there. I'm coming to find out now they're not. They're the mouth. They're like the Don King of war. They run their mouth and we go over there and have to back it all up.
Yeah, I mean we are their power.
Yes.
We're their power. I mean they
And
they can go out,
they unethical
out-
as hell too.
they can go out and hit someone, but they're not going to fight them. Just like
They'll
we were
go
talking.
out and sucker punch somebody and then run behind us and be like, protect us, protect us.
And I'm not going to say because they're scared. It's just they don't have the size.
No.
You know, they just outman. They're a great lightweight fighter, but they can't go up to heavyweight and just deal with. You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, but they're doing nasty crap to people, man. Like
I'm
we
not saying
said,
they're
shooting the
right.
limbs off of children and throwing flashbangs in cars, and I mean, yeah, they're unethical as hell.
The Holy Land. All right, so here's some of the opposition to the bill.
The people that we elect to Congress do not represent us, and they do not care about us. Can you bring $100,000 to their desk to pay them for their vote? No, you cannot. But AIPAC can, and the other Israeli lobbies can and do. So they don't care about your opinion. They are serving a foreign government. We are no longer an independent country.
That dude
Okay,
was
so-
from Kalispell, Montana.
There
I got
was some-
family. Yeah, I got family there.
from some fellowship saying you can't trust them son of bitches.
Well, no, yeah,
Well,
we're bought off.
well, here's what they call what whoever posted this calls the fuck Israel speech. This is against the merge.
Madam President, I rise in strong opposition to the fiscal year 2027 National Defense Authorization Act as it is currently written. One of them, Madam President, would mandate the establishment of a new United States-Israel Defense Technology Cooperation Initiative. It's a provision which essentially orders the President, orders the executive branch to expand our technology sharing and defense cooperation with the government of Israel. The other new provision would mandate that the president expand and enhance intelligence sharing with the government of Israel, and at the same time constrain the president's ability to limit such intelligence sharing with the government of Israel. Now, I want my colleagues to think about that for a minute. Even when the government of Israel may be taking actions that are inconsistent with our interests or values, whether that's now or sometime in the future, this provision requires that the U.S. government share intelligence information with them. Now,
All right, so that's what they're saying is in the bill.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, Congress voted against the bill this week.
Thank God.
And this pissed off a lot of politicians, and I'm assuming
Because it got in their damn pocketbook.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a lot of Israel supporters, AIPAC.
Whatever, dude. What? A lot of money supporters, Brian.
Well, let's just hear from old Randy Fine. Randy Fine is a representative from Florida and obviously a huge supporter of Israel. I don't know the guy, but just listen to this guy.
I think the exciting thing is every Republican except our one anti-Semite voted against it. So the Republican Party made clear that we stand with that relationship with Israel. But a majority of Democrats would not vote to support Israel, including, by the way, my understanding is Nancy Pelosi voted to kill funding to Israel. I mean, the Democratic Party is a Jew-hating party, and I think we have to accept that now.
Jew-hating.
It's Jew-hating party.
Yeah, stop.
Hey, you better not mess with old Randy Fine.
I didn't even know who that dude is.
I still don't know who he is, but he loves him some Israel.
He loves him some buffet. He kind of big dude.
Oh, and here's our man, Thomas Massey, just explaining everything.
Israel has the strongest economy in the Middle East. Their debt per GDP is in much better shape than ours. They don't need our money. In fact, they've claimed recently they want to get off of the welfare. But I'm concerned that the other funding mechanisms they're talking about, or commingling our technology and supply chains, will have even less transparency than what's going on here today. So I'm opposed to that as well. I'm opposed to all foreign aid. I didn't pick on Israel here. I've offered an amendment to defund Egypt and also to defund the aid to Jordan, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I am particularly concerned this year about the foreign aid to Israel. There have been 70,000 casualties in Gaza, and I don't think we should be part of that. American taxpayers should not be conscripted into funding the military adventures of Israel.
How about that? I ain't just saying fuck Israel. I'm saying fuck all them other countries.
Mm-hmm.
Don't need to support any of them.
That's right. Hell, we
I think
can't
that's
support
fair.
ourselves.
No, we have to just take a look inward and say, hey, look, well, supporting ourselves don't pay off the right people, but again,
Brian, that'd be like having a lawn mowing service again. I think I always use something that people can relate to. Having a lawn mowing service and mowing everybody's yard and not mowing your own. I mean, what kind of person are you not to take care of your own shit, but you're over there taking care of everybody else's stuff? I've said that, and I don't care if anybody from my church listens to this. If you do, hey, how are you?
how you doing?
How you doing? How's your mom and them?
How's your mom and them?
So, anyways, that I tell the church that. Why are we sending all our money overseas for missionaries when we don't take care of our own community?
Philanthropy.
A lot of times when that stuff goes overseas, it gets misused. It gets taken by other entities and all that stuff. And a little,
but you know
just
what probably
a little
happens
bit of
100% of the time, though.
What?
Some of that money gets sent back to whoever sent it to them. So it was sent there as a philanthropy fucking donation, tax deducted, and you getting it right back to you.
Well, like I said, we need to start taking care of our own before we start taking care of other people. And then once we've taken care of our own, then we can start helping other people. I'm not saying there ain't other countries out there, Brian, that don't need help, but there's countries out there that need to start helping themselves. You see what I'm saying?
What about that 469 million I showed you in the last
Yeah.
episode that just went they didn't use, we were supposed to build
Yeah, to
shit
that
for us in it.
ammo place in Texas. I
Yeah.
mean, well, they could get used on a lot of hungry kids
Yeah.
and families here.
I mean, that just shows you right there the amount of theft and oh shit.
But anyways, go on.
All right. So also this week, the Save America Act failed to pass Congress again. And this also pissed off Republicans, which I can understand this. I mean, do you know what the Save America Act is?
I've heard some stuff in it, but I don't know everything.
It's
I'm not gonna
basically
lie.
you have to show your ID to vote at. Basically,
Okay,
what it
yeah,
is.
it's the election fraud and all that stuff. And
Yeah, so
yeah, we already know Democrats don't want that.
right. And so I mean, so it failed. And
Right.
I agree you should show your ID to vote. I mean, you have to
Mhm.
show your ID for a lot of things. A lot of
Mhm.
things that are less important than voting,
Yeah.
and you should have to that should be the very basic rule.
Mhm.
You prove that who you are to vote. Pretty simple. Now, I believe the merger issue and the failure of the SAVE Act is what brought Trump to publicly announce that elections were stolen and China had a hand in it in this speech on Friday. So I'm going to show you a little
China.
short clip on his speech. Then I'm going to explain to you how I think this all fell out.
Tonight, I'm announcing the immediate declassification and release of critical intelligence revealing shocking vulnerabilities in our election infrastructure. For many years, I've called for bold, swift, and decisive action to protect the integrity of America's elections. Every American deserves to know that when they cast their vote, that vote will be counted accurately in a system, and that is to make that system secure. This evidence shows that the election system we have dangerously exposes and really exposes like levels never thought possible to hacking, exploitation, and foreign interference. You can see these documents for yourself at whitehouse.gov. That's whitehouse.gov. Go check it out. First, they show that over a period of years, starting during the 2020 election cycle, the People's Republic of China carried out what is believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history, resulting in China's illicit acquisition of 220 million U.S. voter files. That information includes names, addresses, phone numbers, political party preferences, and other sensitive data that would be needed to register to vote. Tonight, I'm asking the FBI director to ensure that the matter is fully investigated and to work with the Department of Justice to prosecute those responsible for any crimes. Finally, to reveal just how vulnerable our elections continue to be, we are releasing the results of a stunning investigation by the Department of Homeland Security. According to the DHS review, state voter rolls and public records, they identified approximately 278,000 non-citizens who are registered to vote in federal elections. In light of the brand new and irrefutable information I have revealed tonight, my administration is in the process of notifying the states whose election data was compromised by the People's Republic of China and many others. We will be working closely to mitigate any harm, and we're taking swift action to ensure that sensitive voter data is better protected so we can never be bought, we can never be hacked, and we can never watch a stolen election again.
Okay. I'll let you react before I explained to you what I felt.
No, I mean, he didn't get his way, so he called it out publicly.
Right, with the SAVE Act, right?
Yeah, so he's declassifying that information showing that China had something to do with potential fraud in the 2020 election, the one he lost.
Exactly. No, this is how I think it all fell out this week. All right, first of all, I watched, his speech, and Trump, to me, he sounded like the Trump I voted for in his speech. You know, he talked about the deep state and cleaning things up and shit like that, and he s he spoke about cleaning up voter rolls, which is something I support. So I give Trump kudos for that. But everything they do, they them, everything they them do,
They them.
it has a purpose. You know, everything is a script. So, what is what I believe? I believe Israel was mad that the merger didn't pass. This shows that the support for Israel dropped in the US a lot, you know. Trump's pissed that the Save America Act didn't pass. Both Israel and Trump know the midterms are huge. Trump tells Israel, untie my hands and I'll bring fury. You know, maybe, maybe not. All right. But that's just my knucklehead interpretation. But I did watch the speech, and in my opinion of the speech, I was listening to Trump talk about how the elections was stolen, and he has proof. And this was really smart for him to do this. And why? Because he puts focus of his supporters on China, and it takes the eyes off of Israel and Iran for a bit.
Mhm,
You know, almost like a sleight of hand, but with fucking intent, right?
mhm.
And this also gives his base something that he promised, an investigation into election fraud. So now the Jan Sixers are giving some respect for supporting him. You know, he's reaching out to his core supporters. He's doing some damage control to get some people behind the SAVE Act. If he's able to get the voter rolls corrected, they may have a good shot at the midterms. But it also put a light on the corruption from China. China's investment into our U.S. politicians jumped from right at 20 million in 2018 to just over 60 million in 2019. Ain't so they tripled their investment in our politicians in that year. What influence were they buying with this lobbying money? You know, is it kind of a coincidence that China started heavily investing in our politics ahead of the COVID and the 2020 election?
Yeah, and where'd it come from?
You know, almost as if they planned to destroy our economy in the reelection of Trump. I mean, is that possible? All right, so let's look at some numbers courtesy of opensecrets.org. Yeah. All right. So this is the total spent since 2016, all countries. Now, these are the countries that have to register with FAR. You're not going to see Israel on here because APAC is actually an American lobby. So they're not a foreign lobbyist. These are all foreign lobbyists. Okay. So since 2016, you know, China is at the helm. And this is the government of China when it's showing the entities. This is what I wanted to show you even more. If you look 2015, 16, 17, and 18, the money that's spent through all the lobbying just jumps way the fuck up.
Mhm.
So now in 2025, they're spending roughly $73 million a year. Why? Why did it jump from 20 million to 60 million in a year, almost 60 million a year? Why did it triple? Why are they spending so much money now? Kind of odd, huh?
Mhm. They're our other pimp.
Could be.
Now it's a turf war between Israel and China on us, isn't it?
Kind of looks like that way. I mean, because China is investing heavily in the U.S.
Mhm.
No,
Why?
why?
Yeah, they bought ground over here, property.
Well, let me correct that. They invested heavily in taking down the U.S. internally, and most of this money goes to the Democratic politicians.
Mhm.
So this would explain why a lot of Democrat parties do seem to be communist,
Mhm.
and likely why states like California and New York kept taking communist ideology to their way of governing.
Yep.
So, are we controlled in this country by Zionists and communists? Are the Democrats controlled by China and the Republicans controlled by Israel?
That's what it looks like.
Is that too far of a reach?
No.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
It's kinda like a menage a trois. We're that we're that little girl in the middle between 2 big dudes.
I'm not sure that it's just two groups. This is just what based
Oh,
off of
we're
seeing.
probably in a gangbang, but right
That's
now
what
it
I'm
just
getting
looks
at.
like right now it just looks like 2 dudes, but I'm sure their buddies are in the corner. It probably looks like Bonnie Blue?
If you ever see how much influence China has over like the entertainment industry and um, like basketball and stuff like that, it's weird, when you see that kind of stuff. And
Mhm.
also with some of our politicians, and I'm gonna getting that to you, getting that in a little bit with you. Now, if you listen to this and you're a left leaning person, you're probably yelling at me right now and talking about how the Trump administration is authoritarian. And yes, when you hear about ICE shooting people and how they're arresting illegals, it can look that way. I agree, you know. However, I stand with getting the illegals out of this country. I just do.
Mhm.
I don't want to see any of them hurt, and I don't blame them for wanting to be here for a better life. I just don't. But we
But
need
do
these.
it the right way. We've said
Yeah,
that 100 times. Do it the right
exactly.
way.
We don't need these people here. We just don't. But if you think it's bad here, I seen this from South Africa. I want you to see how they're handling the illegal immigrants in South Africa. The government wouldn't do their jobs, so the people went out and were just pushing the fucking illegals out. Check this out.
Thousands of people are now fleeing South Africa out of fear because something big is about to happen. Undocumented foreigners have been told they have tomorrow to leave, or else the country will be shut down.
Go back to your countries. We are tired of you guys. Go back to your countries.
That is according to an anti-illegal immigration group called March and March. They claim that these foreigners are responsible for high levels of crime, unemployment of native South Africans, and burdening public services and infrastructure like healthcare and schools. But here's the problem. While this movement claims to only be campaigning against illegal immigrants, there have been widespread reports of documented foreigners being targeted as well. Over the past few months alone, several incidents have been reported of foreigners being attacked and even killed, as well as their homes being set on fire. On top of that, migrants say that they've received threats like, if you don't leave now before the 30th of June, you're gonna leave in a coffin. And the situation has got so intense that the governments of countries like Ghana, Mozambique, Nigeria, Malawi, Zimbabwe, etc. are desperately trying to repatriate thousands of their nationals back home before tomorrow's unofficial deadline. In fact, approximately 13,000 individuals have gone back to their home country in the last 2 weeks alone. And while the South African government have condemned and rejected this planned nationwide shutdown, March and March say they are going ahead, and illegal foreigners have less than 24 hours to get out.
Get them out of there. You got to go home. They wasn't
You
fucking
eat
around.
our food.
It would not. It has multiple videos, and a lot of them don't have anyone narrating, tell you what's going on. But I mean, it's just straight up, like they just cleaning house, just ripping people out. The people are doing it.
Imagine if that was going on here.
Yeah, exactly.
if we took to the streets to push all these illegals out and we started burning their houses and killing them,
There'd be a civil war.
and I don't want to hear, well, ICE is doing that. No, ICE is a federal agency. Those people aren't. They're just civilians protesting against illegal immigration in their country. And that's in Africa.
And they're having similar issues that we're having.
Dumbasses.
It's, when you think about it, they're having very similar issues that we're having.
Yes.
And their government is not doing anything to protect them. Is this
That's
a
right.
systemic issue throughout the world? I mean, we already see Europe's having this issue. Now we see Africa having this issue. The U.S. is having this issue. How many other countries are having this issue? And where all these people coming from? That means other countries got to be getting empty, right? If everybody's migrating.
You think there'd be some land somewhere that's vacant.
Like, what the fuck? All right, now I'm not going to say that the Trump administration and what they're doing doesn't look authoritarian. I'm not. It does, and sometimes you have to go to extremes to meet extremes. And this is where shit gets out of control. You just have to. When you allow 20 million illegal immigrants in your fucking country, and you trying to get them all out, you have to do a lot of work. You have to go through extreme measures to do that. You just, if they would have actually shown, and a lot of people haven't seen this, and I really wish people would go back and look and see the amount of people that were just crossing over the borders during the Biden administration. It was unreal. And if you see the amount of people that just came across the border, you would understand why ICE has to be the way they are. Again, I'm not going to say it all looks humane. I'm not going to say it doesn't look authoritarian, but it is something that needs to be done. Right? But the problem is when you start doing these things, especially I think lately there was a couple people that was shot by ICE or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
There was an actual documented dude that was killed in front of his kid.
Oh, yeah?
But now everybody's saying that he took off running. What if he was legal? Why'd he take off running?
Well, again, we don't know his perspective of.
I don't either, and he may have been. I mean, because I get nervous when a cop gets behind me. I ain't even doing nothing wrong, and I get nervous because I'm sitting there waiting for him to pull me over for something stupid. They do that. They pull you over for the most ignorant shit, no matter what color you are. And you know why I'm told they do that? Because they find more illegal stuff making minor traffic stops than anything else. That's what I get told.
You're probably right.
That's why they let a lot of people go, like for not having their driver's license on them or expired insurance or speeding and stuff like that. A lot of times they'll just give you a warning and let you go because they're looking for something bigger. They're looking for drugs. They're looking for,
They fishing.
They fishing. They trying to get some kind of cause to get near your car to find something bigger.
Well, all this shit that we got going on, especially when you start shooting people, that gets the pendulum swinging. And I know we was joking about the pendulum the other day, but when you get the pendulum swinging with parties pushing that motherfucker on both ends, that shit just don't end well.
No.
And that's why it's tough to listen to shit like this. While I understand, and this is going to be Stephen Miller, while I understand he and a lot of people believe this needs to be done. When you move the pendulum as much as we're moving it right now, there will be someone pushing back that, and how far it goes, we're not going to know. All right. So here's Stephen Miller on the liberal terrorists we have in this country.
Here in the United States, we have taken the necessary and essential action of formally recognizing left-wing violence as a form of political terrorism that is a direct threat to our national security and the survival of our Republican form of government. President Trump issued a directive in our parlance. It's called a National Security Presidential Memorandum, or NSPM, NSPM 7 to be exact, that directs for the first time in American history all of our law enforcement and intelligence agencies to work together to disrupt, identify, defund, debank, arrest, and prosecute these political terrorists that are operating in our country. It's very important to understand that left-wing political terrorism seeks as its ultimate end the overthrow of our system and form of government. And we've seen this has taken place many times in many places throughout the years, and Secretary Rubio has provided you many examples. Left-wing terrorism always ends in bloodshed, misery, and suffering. It only can travel in one direction. There's no point at which the left-wing terrorist is satisfied with his gains and ceases progressing. Inevitably, left to run its course, it always becomes a gulag. It always becomes the mass imprisonment of political enemies, the stripping of their rights and freedoms, inflicting immense pain, humiliation, suffering, in order to establish complete and total control. Control through psychological and physical and actual terror. And we have to understand that that is the scope and the extent of the threat that we face.
Okay. So how you feel about Stephen Miller's speech there?
It's always trying to pit one party as being the problem. Now, I will say, like all the riots and things like that that were going on, yeah, that was, and the Democrats were paying to get people out of jail to put them back out on the street doing it.
Okay.
And they were admitting they were doing it. Like AOC and some of them other ones were admitting they were going to post bail for these people. You were agging on that kind of behavior that was causing loss to property and other things. That's unacceptable. You can't do that.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with you. I can't say I don't agree with them. It looks bad. When you sit there and say that if I'm a Democrat and I believe that the ICE agents are doing shit wrong and all this other stuff and people should protest against ICE, I'm a good person, but I just don't know any different because I'm only consuming X, Y, and Z. Okay.
Right.
So I don't know any different. And I hear that. I think that they're coming after me. Even though I'm not going to protest anything, you know, who is he considering a liberal terrorist? Is that just anyone that doesn't agree with them? You know,
Right.
I don't know. I just think it looks bad. Again, I'm not saying I don't agree with them. We're just at such a inflection point in our country that we have to go to extremes. You know, in the past, the Republican Party or the Republican officials would not do things like this because they always wanted to take the higher road, right? Well, now they know that you can't keep taking the higher road. You have to punch back. But when you punch back, it just doesn't look good. Now, that's just how I feel about it. And I'm going to get further into this after this next video. And in this next video that I'm about to play, I hope that this lady does not represent the mass. But however, I'm not playing this video of her particularly because of race or anything. I'm playing her to show you how far people are from one another in this great country. You just heard a white man from our government tell you that he's going to fight liberal terrorists. And now you hear a black woman, you know, say this.
White men are dangerous. White people are dangerous. When you are the only black friend out of the friend group, you almost always are going to be the one. When the police come, you the one going to catch the charge. When the hoes come around, we got to make somebody look stupid so we can get fucked or look cool, you going to be the fucking big. You cannot be the only black one. So the fact that you can't be the only black one as an adult, how the fuck can you be the only black one as a 13-year-old? My son has white friends. I'm already trying to figure out how to explain to him that y'all can hang at school, y'all can do an after school thing, y'all can go to the mall. You can't go to their houses and you can't spend the night. You can't. It's too fucking dangerous. I need you to make it home to me. I need to bury you and you not bury me. Period. I am not one of them moms that want you to make the best decisions. I want you to make it the fuck home.
Word.
My child knows how to operate a weapon. My child is in some type of situation with a police officer. My child sees this cop reaching. He decides to take this cop's life away or whatever happens. I am going to see my child for 15 to 20 to 30. It's going to be a great bid. The best bid you can have in that prison is what my son going to have. But all that going to court so we can fake march and then he get a paid vacation and switch to another county can't be a part of that.
Okay.
Dang, she was supporting her kid taking the cop out, huh?
It's fucked up, huh? I'll let you react, and I'll tell you where I'm at.
I'm just going to keep my mouth shut on that.
Okay. Well,
because
I don't like what she said,
no,
but I don't know what her life is like, so I'm not gonna judge her perspective. I mean, should you be thinking about killing a cop? No. I don't know. She might have had 10 family members that got shot by cops. I don't know. You know, but
statistically, they say cops have killed more white people than they ever have black people.
again, I'm not arguing with you. I agree with you, but I don't know her perspective. So I don't know her, so I'm not going to judge her in that. But that is a problem to talk like that, both sides.
Oh yeah.
You know. So if you have a
We're
white
not
man,
coming together when people act like that.
no. But if you, what I just showed you earlier, you have a white man telling you that you're going
Yeah,
after
I know.
liberal
That's what I'm
terrorists.
saying.
Yeah.
With
And then-
both sides acting like that, we're not coming together.
Yeah, and she's saying that white people are dangerous. I mean,
Hey, we are dangerous because my boy had this black buddy that would spend the night here at the house and wrestling. He was the heavyweight of the wrestling team. Big old dude. Good kid too. Real good kid. And man, he said, can I make myself at home? We were like, yeah, you make yourself. That dude lived in my refrigerator, man. I contributed to his weight problem because I mean that boy put some food down. Like I went to McDonald's, I was like, what do y'all want? And Ryan's like, breakfast burritos. And I said, right now, what do you want? And he goes, breakfast burritos, sir. And I said, how many? That boy ate 8 of them.
damn. I could probably do that back in the day, though, too.
He was a big boy, but dude, we treated him like our own here. He wasn't black. I mean, he was a kid of color. He had some color on his skin, but we didn't look at him like that, dude. I mean, come on, people.
Again, that's totally, it could be a different environment.
You know, if the cops came knocking on my door, you think I'd have thrown him out in the yard? Like, there you go, get him. I mean, come.
Well, just to give you so the other day, I went sit with my mom and dad, my 2 sisters, and met with hospice for my dad, just to go over a meeting. Is not, and we were just all talking about, how we grew up with black people, and there's so many people I've met throughout my life that hasn't grown up with black people, and we were talking about how we a minority, and my sister, who's a principal at a school, I mean, she talks about at every school that she worked at, her friends were always, just black. It wasn't intentional. And we always joked about how it's just so easy for us to hold conversations with black people, and other white people would just find it weird, just open conversations. And we figured out it's because we're probably in minority of white people that actually grew up and spent so much time with black people that it's not difficult, or it's not different for us just to mingle with them. Where
Right.
some people find it, or they just don't understand them. Understand what? They're people. There's nothing to really understand about them. It's no different than the people next door. You don't know exactly what they're into or what they're like. They're just people.
Yeah. Well, it's like I seen a clip on Ralphie May this morning, and I love Ralphie, man. I really do. I know he's ornery, but I
Rest
just
in
love
peace.
him. And it's sad that he's gone young, right? And he said, people be like, man, you, what color are you? He said, I'm poor.
That's right.
Poor ain't got a color, dude. When you're poor, you're poor. It don't matter if you're white or black. Poor is poor. If you eat your cereal out of a Cool Whip container that's stained with spaghetti sauce, what's it matter what freaking color you are, man? You're poor.
I used to be jealous that my friends actually was able to have Cool Whip containers.
What'd you eat it out of? Just the box?
No, I mean, we had bowls, but it's like we didn't.
Oh, you knew they were eating Cool Whip.
Yeah.
Like, y'all got that Cool Whip somewhere.
Exactly.
My grandma didn't have Tupperware, man. She had butter containers and Cool Whip containers.
Well, that's what we had, like butter containers and stuff like that, but we didn't
Well,
have
dude,
Cool
I
Whip.
would I'd get the munchies at my grandma's house and open the fridge and thinking, oh, there's a tub of Cool Whip. I'm gonna get something sweet, and I'll open it up, and it's damn pot roast. I'm like, are you kidding me? Gosh, grandma, nasty, had that coagulated grease in there. Oh, ugh.
But yeah, I mean, this is a problem with both sides, and
It is.
the more I dig, and the more I see, and we are being heavily influenced by other countries, and mainly China and Israel.
Mhm,
And I think this is for us to destroy ourselves from within.
mhm.
And while yes, we aren't having bombs dropped on us by other countries, we are
There's no
creating
need
our
to.
no, we're creating our own war zones, especially in our inner cities. We're killing our own people with drugs. We're not educating our kids as they should be. 40% of our population is obese. 44 million or 13.6% of people in the US are disabled.
Could be us soon.
Yep. And it is estimated that roughly 100,000 Chinese nationalists have come across the border since 2018. Now, this is what's recorded.
Mhm.
Kind of like when they tell you the amount of drugs seized at the border and you know a fuck ton's already made it across.
Yeah, whatever. They ain't reporting the true number. They're making it. What do we say? It's a facade, man.
Yep.
They're trying to make you sound like they're doing all this shit. It's a means to the end.
Yeah. And what's sad is we're effectively in a fucking war with ourselves, fueled by other countries, and we have no idea we're fighting this. It's like you said, they're balling a frog.
Yep.
That's what we are.
You put that frog in that water, cold water, live frog, put him on a lily pad in cold water, turn that water, slowly heat that water up. And by the time he knows it's too hot, he's already dead.
Hey, explain to me why we didn't shoot that Chinese spy balloon down before it crossed
Oh,
the whole
yeah.
fucking country.
When you just said that, I was like, is he going to bring that balloon up? We just let that sucker go across the United States.
Yeah.
Like it was Amelia Earhart or something.
You ever heard of Fang Fang?
No.
Yeah, she was a Chinese spy that was fucking, I can't remember old boy's name. It was one of our sitting congressmen.
Oh, you talking about Mitch McConnell?
No, that was his wife was Chinese. No, Fang Fang, she was a actual Chinese spy. What the fuck was that guy's name?
Fang Fang? Can I look her up?
Yeah, you can look her up. I mean, it's documented. I think the guy's still in office. And then there was rumors that Pelosi's driver was also a Chinese spy.
Swalwell?
Yeah, Eric Swalwell. Yep. Eric Swalwell was fucking Fang Fang.
Mm.
And I'm sure he didn't give no secrets out.
I ain't gonna lie, she good looking girl though.
Well, what I'm getting at is how many honeypots.
Look at Mitch McConnell's wife, man. There ain't no way, dude. Mitch McConnell would.
How many honeypots do they have in this country?
Yeah, it's like when you see that good looking 20-something, 25, 26-year-old blonde with that 67-year-old guy, and she's like, I love him. Like, the hell you do? Shut up. Just admit I love his money. Age gap. I mean, you shrugging your shoulders, Brian. That's sick, dude.
I'm not saying it's not, but
I got a daughter. You got a daughter. If our daughter, I'd be like, girl, you done sold your soul, man. Find somebody you love, not money.
Well, what if she tried love and love didn't work?
Would you stop taking up for that crap? That's disgusting.
I don't know. I don't know. We got a friend, and he has a girlfriend now that looked like she had a rough life, and she's probably 30 years younger than him.
Right.
And you know that she's with him just for the money. Having said that, that lady is probably in a better position now than she was in before. And she's
Yeah.
just willing to do what she has to do just to be in a good relationship. Whether she loves him or not, she's probably been in enough fucked up shit where she was beaten or arrested for drugs or something that this is something stable that she's happy to be with. Or she's going to rob him and kill him one day. But either way,
That's a move up for her.
that's a move up for her. All right. But yeah, I think we have a lot of outside forces causing this rift and shit. Like you were talking earlier about us fighting and what it was, the George Floyd, I think it was, all the shit that they were destroying and stuff like that. Stephen Miller talking about the leftist terrorists and how you were saying that most of them were going out and they are destroying things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And is that fueled by China or someone else? Who's giving them the money to start these protests?
We were hearing they were bussing people in and
Exactly. And they all have these nice fucking signs, they all,
yeah.
So who's supporting all that?
I don't know.
Where's this money coming from?
I don't know. I wish that dude that busted that Somalia daycare would bust this too and get to the bottom of that.
Well, I mean,
well, if China's promoting the Democrats is who was bailing these people out when they were getting arrested. As soon as they were arrested, the Democrats were posting bail and getting them back out on the street.
And Kamala Harris was one of them that signed off.
Yes, on that. AOC, Kamala,
yep.
Nancy.
Okay, so I hope everyone stayed with me so far and understands where I was going with all that, because that's what I'm trying to show you is they're constantly selling us a bill of goods to fight each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we're fighting over shit that has nothing to do with us, and it's probably being propagandized from countries outside of ours that's starting little mini wars within our own country to where we can't come together. And so it's not even just our politicians. It's they, them. It's they, them, China, they, them, Israel, they, them, Rothschilds, they, them, politicians, they, them, elite class, Epstein class. All them they, thems are getting us to fight each other. And we're killing each other. And we hating each other. And we're staying separated because of the they, thems. Well, last thing we're going to discuss tonight and this week is how every empire falls. This is a 7-minute video discussing the 5 steps of a failing empire. And we're going to stop and discuss after each step. So let's check to see how empires fall.
Every empire in history collapsed the same way, the same 5 steps every single time. And right now, America is on step 4. Now you want to know what those 5 steps are, and you want to know which one America is on right now. But before we get there, we need to go through history because these steps were not written in a book. They were written in blood, over 2,000 years by empires that all believed they were too powerful for the pattern to apply to them. They were all wrong. And the only way to understand what is happening today is to watch it happen before, in slow motion, one empire at a time. 117 AD. The Roman Empire has just reached its maximum size, nearly 2 million square miles of territory across 3 continents. Britain in the north, Egypt in the south, Iraq in the east, Portugal in the west. No empire in the Western world had ever been this large, and no military had ever been this powerful. And then Rome made the decision that every great empire makes at its peak. It decided to protect everything it had conquered, all at once, everywhere, simultaneously. Soldiers on the Rhine, soldiers on the Danube, soldiers in Egypt, in Syria, in Britain, in North Africa. The empire was so large that by the time a message traveled from one border to the other, the crisis it described had already changed. Rome was not losing wars. Rome was winning them everywhere, all the time. And it was still getting weaker. This is step 1, military overextension. Fast forward to the Ottoman Empire, 600 years of dominance across the Middle East, North Africa.
All right, so step 1,
Mm-hmm.
overextension of your military. Think we reached that yet?
Oh, yeah, because we're in every country.
We're spending a fuck ton on our military to be in every damn country, too.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And Southern Europe. At its height in the 1500s, the Ottoman Sultan controlled more of the known world than any ruler since Rome. But the Ottoman Empire had already passed step 1 long before, with its armies fighting on 3 fronts simultaneously: Persia to the east, the Habsburgs to the west, the Mediterranean to the south. And 3 simultaneous wars cost money, enormous amounts of it. The treasury that had once funded the greatest military on earth was now being consumed by the military it had created. Taxes rose, trade revenues fell, and the empire began borrowing from European banks, the very same European creditors who were also its geopolitical rivals. By the 1800s, the Ottoman government owed so much money to European creditors that it literally had to ask them for approval to manage its own budget. An empire that had once made Europe tremble was now financially dependent on it. This is step 2, financial drain. The British Empire at its
Financial drain. Can we check that one off the list?
Yeah, check. I mean, there's not. I don't really see big discuss. I know we were supposed to discuss.
No,
this,
no,
but
no. So I'm just making sure that we all on the
yeah,
same page.
Did we not watch that graph where China smoked us out of nowhere?
Okay. All right. There we go. Well, I just want to make sure that this all don't get lost. That's why I want to stop it in between.
Oh,
each
it's
step.
not getting lost. It's very.
Okay.
I'll remind everybody.
Empire at its peak in 1920 controlled 24% of the entire Earth's land surface, 412 million people across every continent on the planet, the most powerful navy in history, the world's reserve currency, the center of global trade, finance, and law, and Britain had already passed steps 1 and 2 a generation earlier. Its military was stretched across every continent, and its treasury had been drained by 2 world wars. But Britain still had one thing. Its allies still believed in it. India still fought for it. Australia and Canada still funded it. The Middle East still depended on it. And as long as those relationships held, the empire held. Then World War II ended, and something changed. Britain had won the war, but it had borrowed so much from America to do it that it was still making repayments to Washington until 2006. 61 years after the war ended, India watched Britain struggle and said, if Britain needs to borrow money to survive, it cannot protect us. And in 1947, India left, then Burma, then Ghana, then Malaya. One by one, the Allies looked at the empire and decided it could no longer deliver on its promises. This is step 3. Allies begin to abandon. And now, the Soviet Union.
Okay. So one thing that jumps out at me at this is when you're looking at just this one video, how empires gradually get shorter and shorter in time that they rule. You know, when you look at the Roman Empire and how long it ruled, and the Ottoman Empire and how long it ruled, and the British Empire that took over the Ottoman Empire. You know, now we're gonna go to the Soviet Union and the United States. It's a lot. It changes hands a lot quicker now. Just put it that way.
Because this is the step you have been waiting for. The Soviets had already passed steps 1, 2, and 3 by the time Mikhail Gorbachev came to power in 1985. The military was overextended across Eastern Europe, Africa, Asia, and Central America. The treasury was being drained by a defense budget that consumed between 15 and 25% of the entire Soviet GDP every single year. And Soviet allies, Poland, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, East Germany, were increasingly restless, increasingly resentful, increasingly looking for a way out. The Soviets knew all of this, and instead of stopping, they invaded Afghanistan. 10 years, 15,000 Soviet soldiers killed, and the indirect cost was catastrophic. It exposed the Soviet military as beatable. It shattered the myth of invincibility, and it drained morale from an army that was already stretched across a dozen countries simultaneously. And here is the most important detail. At the exact moment the Soviet Union was bleeding in Afghanistan, America was watching quietly from Washington, counting the cost, watching the depletion, understanding that it did not need to defeat the Soviets on a battlefield. It just needed to wait. This is step 4. Too committed to stop, too proud to admit the cost, too powerful to be forced to change until it is far too late. And now, with all four.
Now, who does that sound like?
Us. I mean, being honest, this is a short discussion on this one. It's
Oh
pretty
yeah, that's what I'm
selfish.
getting at. It's just so like it was like it just describes everything to a T. You know?
Yeah.
All right.
And now, with all four steps visible, look at America in 2026. Afghanistan for 20 years, Iraq, Syria, Libya, now Iran. And the Iran war alone is estimated to cost between $80 and $100 billion in its first months. But the financial figure is not the most dangerous number. According to the Center for Strategic and International Studies, America has already used more than 50% of its THAAD missile interceptors in the Iran war, more than 45% of its most advanced precision strike missiles, and nearly 50% of its Patriot air defense stockpiles. These weapons take 3 to 5 years to replace at current production rates. Iran's drones cost between $20,000 and $50,000 each, while America's interceptors cost approximately $10 to $12 million per unit, meaning America is spending millions to stop a $50,000 drone, hundreds of times per week, and falling further behind every single day. And China, like America watching the Soviets bleed in Afghanistan 40 years ago, is not fighting, not threatening, simply watching, counting the missiles being used, calculating the years it will take to replace them, and understanding that between now and 2030, while those interceptors are being rebuilt, there exists a window of strategic vulnerability that no amount of American bravado can close. Rome was on step 4 when it hired foreign soldiers because it could no longer pay its own army. The Ottomans were on step 4 when they borrowed money from their geopolitical rivals to fund their own survival. Britain was on step 4 when it won the Second World War and could not afford the victory. The Soviet Union was on step 4 when it invaded Afghanistan knowing the cost, and invaded anyway. And America is on step 4 right now. You have been waiting for step 5 since the beginning of this video, and every historian who has studied imperial collapse agrees on what it is. It is not a battle, not an invasion, not a moment you can point to on a map and say that is when it ended. Step 5 is quieter than that. It is the morning when an empire wakes up and the money is gone, the weapons are depleted, the allies have made other arrangements, and the enemies have simply waited long enough. Rome did not fall on a single day. The Ottomans did not collapse in a single battle. Britain did not lose its empire in a single war, and the Soviet Union did not end with a single defeat. They all reached step 5 the same way, gradually, then suddenly, then completely. And step 5 has a name. It is called imperial overstretch, described by Yale historian Paul Kennedy in his 1987 book, The Rise and Fall of the Great Powers. Written as a warning specifically about America, which became a bestseller and then everyone forgot about it. Step 5 has never, not once in 2,000 years of history, failed to arrive. The only question that has ever mattered is whether anyone in power was paying attention at step 4.
Give you a lot of confidence?
No.
You all right?
But once again, I don't see the need to be a superpower.
I don't think we need to be a superpower. Even the problem I have is not so much of being a superpower.
We're vulnerable now.
And we're vulnerable. And the amount of people we probably done pissed off in this world.
Yeah, nobody's going to protect us if somebody comes at us.
We were just too arrogant.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we would just a host for the parasites of either China or Israel, if we were set up. Oh yeah,
well, who's to say they're not both in on it?
Could be.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They could be doing that wrestler thing too. We talk about.
You never know.
Mm-hmm.
So you got anything?
Nope. That was a good one. It's good night.
You understood everything?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I hope everybody else did. You know, it was a good night. Thanks everybody for joining us. This is the Senseless podcast. I'm Brian.
I'm Jason.
Here's Jason.
Peace.